Hello and welcome back to What's Next. The German automotive industry, long hailed as a symbol of engineering brilliance and economic might, finds itself at an unprecedented and somewhat ironic predicament. Imagine this: thousands upon thousands of shiny, brand new German cars, Audi, Volkswagen, Mercedes-Benz, and BMW, are gathering dust in massive parking lots. These vehicles, worth millions of euros, are sitting there rusting because, well, no one wants to buy them. If that's not shocking enough, consider this. The manufacturers are paying rent for every single spot these cars occupy. Yeah, you heard that right. They're essentially paying to store their own products like someone's hoarding vintage Tupperware, but with a price tag of $50,000 and up per unit. A sea of unsold cars. What's going on? The numbers are staggering. Reports from Essen, Germany show that more than 6,000 expensive German-made cars are parked in a giant storage lot. It's a logistical bottleneck of epic proportions, one that the local employees describe as unprecedented. One worker who's been on the job for over a decade summed it up perfectly. "I've never seen anything like this. These cars keep arriving from factories, but they aren't going anywhere. It's like a bizarre game of automotive musical chairs, except no one is getting up to take a seat." Why are they gathering dust? The answer, as it turns out, is pretty simple, yet incredibly disheartening. Nobody wants to buy them. 1. They're too expensive. German automakers have long prided themselves on premium pricing, but today's buyers seem less impressed. With the global economy facing headwinds and consumers tightening their belts, shelling out $50,000 for a car doesn't have the same appeal it once did. 2. They're not competitive enough. Enter the new kid on the block: Chinese automakers. These companies are shaking up the global industry, offering electric vehicles that come with irresistible features like 600 kilometers of range and a 10-year warranty, all at a fraction of the price. By comparison, German brands are struggling to keep up, both in terms of price and innovation. 3. Demand is shrinking. Globally, the automotive market isn't growing. In fact, it's slowly shrinking, and industry experts predict this trend will continue over the next decade. With fewer people buying cars, competition is fiercer than ever, and the German giants are losing ground. A snapshot of the crisis. Take a closer look at the numbers, and the gravity of the situation becomes clear. Between January and October 2024, Audi's new registrations in Germany fell by 18% compared to the previous year. Volkswagen and BMW are experiencing similar declines. Even the likes of Ford and Cologne are resorting to short-term work and job cuts to cope with shrinking demand. And that's just in Germany. Globally, these brands are facing stiff competition and declining sales, particularly in China, a market that was once a goldmine for European automakers. The cost of stagnation. It's not just unsold cars clogging up parking lots, it's the financial burden that comes with them. Each of these vehicles represents a significant investment, and leaving them to sit for months, sometimes over a year, eats into the bottom line. On top of that, manufacturers are renting the spaces where these cars are parked. One employee in Essen estimates the total value of vehicles at the site to be at least 300 million. That's a whole lot of euros rusting under the German sky. Infrastructure and EV woes. You might not think the surge in EV demand would be a silver lining for German automakers, but it's not that simple. For starters, many German-made EVs are failing to win over consumers. Why? A lack of charging and infrastructure and limited range have made buyers hesitant to make the switch. Meanwhile, competitors both in China and other parts of the world are delivering EVs that meet these challenges head-on. It's like showing up to a high-tech bake sale with stale breadsticks. You're just not going to sell much. Winners and losers. While car manufacturers are struggling, not everyone is feeling the pinch. The logistics companies tasked with storing these unsold vehicles are laughing all the way to the bank. Think of it like running a luxury hotel where every room is booked indefinitely, except the guests are silent, four-wheeled, and depreciating in value. One logistics employee cheekily noted that their company is actually benefiting from the crisis. But this silver lining is cold comfort for the car makers, who are essentially paying through the nose to watch their unsold inventory pile up. And the rest of us, well, there might be a silver lining: discounts. Will bargain hunters strike gold? Industry experts predict that as the backlog of unsold cars grows, manufacturers will eventually have no choice but to slash prices. There's already a precedent for this in China, where some German automakers have discounted vehicles by up to 50% in an attempt to boost sales. Imagine snagging a brand new luxury car for half price. It sounds like the kind of deal you dream about after too much eggnog. However, not all experts are optimistic. Despite the mounting inventory, many cars have been sitting in storage for so long that manufacturers might hesitate to offer steep discounts. After all, heavily marked down prices could hurt their premium brand image. It's a catch-22. Hold on to the cars and watch them depreciate further, or sell them at a loss and risk tarnishing your reputation. The domino effect: jobs and factories. The crisis isn't just about unsold cars. It's also about taking a toll on jobs and factories. Automakers like Volkswagen are shutting down their production lines and laying off workers in an attempt to cut costs. Tens of thousands of jobs are at risk across Germany, with suppliers and manufacturers alike feeling the pinch. The country, often dubbed Autoland for its rich automotive heritage, is now grappling with what some are calling its most significant industry crisis in decades. The writing on the wall. One automotive expert summed it up perfectly. The German automakers had years to see this coming, yet they did little to adapt. The rise of Chinese competitors, the shift towards EVs, and changing consumer preferences weren't exactly surprises, but the traditional giants seemed content to rest on their laurels, relying on past glory instead of innovating for the future. Now they're paying the price, literally. With unsold cars piling up, factory shutdowns looming, and their once loyal customers turning into more affordable, forward-thinking alternatives, the German automotive industry faces an uphill battle. Lessons for the future. If there's one takeaway from this mess, it's that even the mightiest industries aren't immune to disruption. The German car makers now found themselves in positions they've rarely known: underdogs. Whether they can rise to the challenge and reinvent themselves remains to be seen. One thing's for sure though, the days of coasting on reputation alone are over. And for all you bargain hunters out there, keep an eye out. You might just score the deal of a lifetime on a brand new German luxury car. Just be sure to check for us first.